Hello everyone, Kaisen here. VMAT's left toenail, yeah. But more importantly, chapter 152 of Questism just dropped. And after the events of chapter 151, link in the description by the way, this chapter is even more insane. But what I am reading from are the raws. But luckily, Kaisen knows how to read Korean, so 시작해볼까요? The chapter starts us off with an appearance of Johan Seong in a flashback meeting with Haru Seong. A few chapters ago, we revealed that Johan and Haru are actually related, with Haru being Johan's cousin. In this panel, they've met up again. Johan tells Haru that he doesn't want to help Haru again, and why should he? After everything he went through, don't you think it's about time he should get some rest? Telling Haru that he should have said it properly last time. Telling Haru that whatever he did last time would be the last, and that there wouldn't be a next time. Basically, telling Haru that he's above their issues. But that's when CHOYUN comes in, telling Johan to please help them. Telling Johan that without his help, Gangbuk will fall into the hands of CHOYUN, which spells certain doom for the region. Telling Johan that he doesn't want Johan to fight CHOYUN for him. He can't state his reasons, but if he loses, everything will basically turn to shit. Telling Johan, saying that whatever happens to him doesn't matter, but what he can't allow is his crew to get hurt. After saying all of this, Johan finally agrees to their request, to CHOYUN's surprise of course, but after that, he makes CHOYUN promise that he'll stop bothering him with his problems. CHOYUN finding this deal agreeable, he agrees, even wagering his sister. And so, with that, Johan finally joins the West's force to Haru's delight. And the battle basically starts with Johan effortlessly kicking around CHOYUN's elites with ease, not even taking his hands out of his pockets. CHOYUN's girl is of course in disbelief about how easily Johan is taking care of these North fodder that are basically Questism Daniel level. She basically freaks out, saying that this shouldn't be possible. The North could never have anticipated such a big variable like Johan Seong. How could the West have recruited such a monster? She tries to pull a Eugene, saying that the opponent is Johan Seong, do not freaking die. And the elites all try their best and their hardest, but they're just eating dirt. CHOYUN is absolutely baffled witnessing the strength of Johan, the man who united Gangbuk in under a day. Even though CHOYUN's gotten stronger, he's still barely able to keep up with Johan's movements. But he finally locks in, saying that this isn't the time to stand and watch, and he orders his crew to keep it pushing, and finally head to CHOYUN. As they thank Johan for his help, they proceed with their plan to take down CHOYUN while he's recovering. We then cut to Jungdu, piecing up West fodders, as in the last chapter, he'd unlocked his path to transcendence, which is mastery in Lookism. With the stats being on par with that of CHOYUN, in the warehouse of where the West resides, he's still the strongest person there, even stronger than UI Gukja, which is low-key a little embarrassing. Anyway, he continues beating and pummeling, basically raving through the West's Gangbuk's force. With his card active, and having over 300 people against him, the effects of Against the Odds kick in, making him even stronger. In the midst of the panic, CHOYUN uses a card called Battlefield Roar, which boosts everyone's morale and therefore their strength, which allows him to once again face against Jongdu-ma. With all the West's heavy hitters recovering, they now prepare for round 3 with Jongdu. While that's happening, the main crew finally reaches North Gangbuk High, and they start formulating plans on how to tackle this mission, either splitting up or by staying together and speculating if there'd be traps or not. But while they're bickering, CHOYUN sees a familiar face, and it happened to be Daniel. No, not that one. But he goes in surprised that Daniel is still standing, only to be met with a fist to the face. We found out that CHOYUN used a card called Trade on Daniel, which basically makes Daniel brain dead, but gives him overwhelming physical power and speed. CHOYUN is pissed at CHOYUN, wondering if he's even human because of how cruel he's been, and how cruel he can be. The rest of the crew are confused, thinking that Daniel was an ally, but Jaeha catches on quickly, saying that for now he's an enemy. In the midst of that, Hajun steps up to Daniel, facing off against him. His stats are actually incredibly impressive, and as he faces off against Daniel like the boss he is, he tells CHOYUN to go on up, and that's where the chapter ends. This chapter has been absolutely crazy. I'm glad to see CHOYUN using his system to finally give his team an advantage. The stakes have never been higher, and it really is a signal that the series is about to end soon. And that wraps up the intense events of chapter 152. The stakes keep getting higher as the alliances shift, and the true power of the characters are finally revealed. Johan Seong's return to the battlefield, even if reluctant, is a game changer to the team. And Soo-hyun's determination to push forward despite the overwhelming odds showcases the grit and tenacity that makes the series so gripping. With the West and the North's forces clashing, and the unexpected twists like Daniel's transformation adding to the chaos, it's clear that the upcoming battles will only get more intense, and the tension is very much palpable as we head towards the climax of this arc, leaving us all eager to how these confrontations will play out. It's interesting to see how Daniel and Ha-jun's fight will go, because in the past it is foreshadowed that they had some sort of rivalry, before everything became so complicated. One thing I am very excited to see is if the West successfully storms North Gangbuk High and faces off against CHOYUN, would they be strong enough to even battle him? And even if they do, are they prepared for the desperate choices CHOYUN will make? I mean, if he's willing to basically lobotomize his crewmates for their strength, what's he willing to do to himself? Also, something I think needs to be talked about is the amount of references PTJ is actually making. Like, especially in last chapter of Lookism, he basically popped up with a viral hit character, Hankyol, and now here he's bringing back Johan to help the West. It's almost like he's preparing for something big, and I theorize that the reason why he's making these cameos so prominent is because he is preparing for an eventual crossover for the series, which I think would be a fantastic idea. For the longest time, me and my friends have speculated what Lookism's end will be. And my go-to answer is always the endgame theory, on where a theory that consists of every PTJ comic converging into one big story plotline, having all of the good guys fight against a specific evil. It is very, let's say, fanficky in nature, but I think it would be a fantastic end to something as big as Lookism. Something I am curious about when the series ends is how they'll tie this whole system thing into Lookism, because such an important concept can't just be left behind when Questism stops. But that is it for this video. You know, when Questism ends, I don't think that's the last we'll be seeing of Soo-hyun. I mean, he owes Johan so many favors, so it's only right that he'll repay it back, right? But at this point, only time will tell if the story continues or not. But that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching, and so yeah.